Yes, everybody. I'm so happy everyone's getting in the holiday spirit. Welcome, welcome. You guys are going to continue trickling on in. Justin and Rihanna, welcome, welcome.
Yeah.
Hey, Don.
Oh,
Hey, Sandra. Hey, you guys popping in here. Love to see you guys. And thank you guys for tuning in for the last BPM RIA monthly meeting. You heard it right. This is BPM RIA, Broward, Palm Beach, Miami-Dade Real Estate Investors Association, your only local chapter here in South Florida that is approved and in compliance with the National Real Estate Investors Association. My name is Alexa, COO at BPM RIA. We have some awesome gentlemen here in the virtual building. We have Anish Dave, our CEO and lead mentor, Harry Diamond, one of our awesome mentors, and Antonio, one of our short-term rental, wholesale, everything mentors.
expert, expert.
He does a lot, and you guys are gonna hear more from those guys tonight. This is gonna be just a nice wrap up the year. Let's get the questions in the Q&A. Let's, hear what you guys have your questions about. We're gonna really just put a little nice bow on this year's accomplishments, what went right, what went wrong. Let's just get the full scoop tonight. Why don't we? So, with that being said, we're going to talk about, success pathways year end. We're going to have a little panel here talking about the wins and lessons. And to get us started on an awesome note, I have a raffle for everybody. Somebody in here will be winning a free membership, $295 value. All you need to do is text the word membership to 954 800 6961. So text that word membership to that phone number that you see on the screen, and I will announce the winner at the very end. I put those details in the chat box for you guys as well. So make sure you guys are checking out that chat box, and then make sure you're putting those questions that you guys have for our guys tonight in the Q&A. It's probably hidden where that little more button is, or if you have like three dots where it says more, it's probably in there. So just so you guys know. All right, upcoming events, you guys, we do have stuff going on. So I know it's the holidays, but we're not stopping. We might take a little break here and there, but we are full force. We're already planning all these amazing things for you guys. We are so excited to finish this year off strong and just pick it right back up in January. So please make sure you guys are marking your calendar, setting your reminders. We don't want you guys to miss a beat. So we're going to have two webinars next week. I will be hosting a membership benefits webinar on Tuesday. So you guys come with your questions, current members and future members. All of you are welcome. I want to hear what you guys have questions on, and I'll also bring in some new updates and things that I learned at the National RIA Conference a couple months ago, or gosh, probably just like 1.5 months ago, not that long ago. So I do have some things to share with you guys, and I might have some special guests on there. So look out for that and get registered for that. And we'll have a webinar with Next Mill Mastermind on Thursday. Again, this is going to be the perspective of Francisco Mago, owner and creator of RIAFax, one of the founders of Next Mill Mastermind, and he's going to give his take on what to expect in real estate in 2025, market tendencies, inventory with data. So you guys, it's going to be incredible. Want to see you there. Bring your questions. We will do a raffle next week. So you guys, I know it's going to be holiday crazy mode, but please, we have some awesome replays of webinars on our YouTube channel. So make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. I'll put it in the chat. But for those of you that have maybe missed some, we have some incredible replays just the last couple months with some awesome people. So please catch up, because you're not going to have a chance when it comes January. So take the time you need to get caught up, because January we are going full force, starting off with our quarterly meeting at Nova Southeastern University. This will be on Wednesday, January 8th. The first Wednesday of the month is January 1st, you guys. So we're going to push that 1 week back. January 8th. We'll see you there at Nova Southeastern University, same building in the atrium. We're going to talk about what to expect for the year. Again, predictions, strategies, new panel, not the same panel as tonight. So you guys better get your questions in tonight. So you guys get your questions in tonight. New panel again in January in person. We'll do a raffle. We're gonna do networking. Going to be a great time and great way to start the year. We'll have a Saturday workshop to follow that up. Again, we'll bring in Jose Ramirez, our chief tech strategist, and Anish Dave. They're going to do a double header, full day, in person, lunch included, paid workshop. So you guys, this is limited seating. Get locked in. We just posted this today. So get locked in, and we're going to have, gosh, almost 6, I don't know, math, gosh, whatever, 6 hours with these guys. So that's going to be a great day for you guys, and plus lunch. That's awesome. So we'll see you guys there on Saturday with Anish and Jose. And then I wanted you guys to mark your calendars for Real Estate Super Saturday. You know, we're not asking for all your time, but just your Saturdays in January, okay? Nothing crazy. So we want to see you guys again, especially any of you guys in Miami. I know I have a lot of Miami people in this community. So we want to see you guys show up, show out. Miami Shores Country Club all day Saturday, January 18th. Again, I believe we're going to have vendors, speakers, all the above. So it's going to be like it's titled Real Estate Super Saturday. So that's enough from me on announcements. You guys know the easiest way to keep up with events is via text, my favorite way at least. If you want the text updates, text the word BPM REIA, all one word, no spaces, to our event line 954-800-6961, and you'll get those text updates with the registration link straight to your phone. Details are in the chat. Our next quick start training, you guys, if you haven't been already, what are you doing? You gotta go. It's gonna be all about wholesaling, flipping, rehabbing, 2 full days online, cameras on, microphones on. We're getting into it. 4 incredible guest speakers. They are all local business owners here in South Florida, all key people of our power team. They pretty much help us get all the deals done here at BPM RIA with our students. So you're going to want to be there. We have the member pricing, non-member pricing, and it's a money back guarantee. So go click the link in the chat. Thank you guys for answering the poll. I'm so glad to know that you guys are paying attention. Thanks for answering the poll. All right, you guys, I'm going to keep on rolling here. Members, as you know, you get all the goodies. You get that National RIA benefit package, all of those discounts, Home Depot, Millennial Insurance, CAMA plan, Rent Perfect, Avis Budget, so many discounts for you guys. So if you don't have your membership, please go get it now before the quarterly meetings so you can get in for free. Members get in for free for those 4 quarterly networking meetings that we have per year, and your guests come in half price, $10. You definitely want to get that membership so you can start saving on those in-person workshops. Anytime we offer member, non-member pricing, you're saving some dollars there. So go get your memberships now, link in the chat. You can get it right off the website. And let me know if you have any questions. We're going to have that webinar next week, so hope to see you guys there. Last but not least, you guys, one-on-one coaching and mentoring. Some of you may know that we offer one-on-one coaching and mentoring where we put up 100% of the money for our students' deals and split the profit 50-50. You're matched with your own personal mentor. We give you everything you need to get started right now. So go book your discovery call if you don't know what I'm talking about. If this interests you, if you have any, calling at all, go book that discovery call so I can get that detailed brochure in your hands or in your virtual hands. And I can also schedule a free consultation with a mentor so you can get all your questions answered. I have the link in the chat for you guys, but I also do have this QR code on the screen for anyone who's interested in the third-party funding to fund your education. Go ahead and scan the QR code here. All you need is a minimum 620 credit score, $35,000 verifiable income, soft credit pull, and a same-day response. So if you are interested in the third-party funding to invest in yourself, go ahead and scan the QR code here. You'll go to Ease Consulting, and they are super easy and simple. And just keep in mind the same day response is during business hours. So if you guys do this tonight, you'll get the response tomorrow. So super easy and convenient. And thank you guys so much. I always want to take a moment to thank you guys who showed up tonight. You guys rock. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your questions. Put those in the Q&A box. I always want to take a moment to thank National RIA, all of our vendor partners on our website. You guys are amazing. You guys help us have amazing events all year round, which we're so grateful for. You guys must, if you haven't been out to a workshop, please, like, we are so friendly, I promise. Like, we're not gonna bite. You have to come out and meet us in person and make a point of it this year if you haven't already. So I hope to meet all of you guys if I haven't, and all of you that I have met. Can't wait to see you guys again in January, but I will be there, and I can't wait to see you guys and start this year off strong. So just a couple housekeeping rules. Put your questions in the Q&A box. I will be putting helpful links in the chat for you guys throughout today's session. We will be recording, so you guys can review this on your own time on YouTube, but we want to get your questions and hear from you guys. These guys have a lot of cool stuff to share with you, so I'm gonna let them do that. And yeah.
Go, Alexa. Man, give her a hand. Man, you got that thing down, girl. That is impressive. How do I follow that up? So my name's Anish Dave, CEO of BPM RIA, formerly known as BRIA, the Broward Real Estate Investors Association. I'm looking at all these names, and I feel like I've seen a lot of you on our webinars. I've seen you in person. Put in the chat if this is your first time on a webinar or even a meeting of any sort, and this is the first you've heard about us, because I want to see if there's any new people. My quick background: licensed real estate agent for 20 plus years now. I've been in real estate investing for, gosh, almost 25 years. I made a lot of money. I got crushed in the crash, I should say, back in 2008, and I rebuilt myself through wholesaling, rehabbing, and real estate. So okay, yeah, we got a couple of people first time. That's awesome. Great. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna introduce our two panelists. And actually, Alexa, I might have you stay on for a little bit, because she doesn't even know I was throwing her in for a loop, because I might ask her some tough questions also, even within BPM RIA, how we're using VAs and other components to build our business and do so many events. And as Alexa said, we are committed to doing a ton more webinars and in-person events. The key is, again, I don't mind doing the in-person events. We love it. We love seeing you. I just ask for you guys to show up, right? So, and we do understand that we do have a lot of people that tune in that are not local. So for those people, that's why we do so many webinars. For our local people, we want to see you also. So my first introduction, I will start with younger versus older. So I'm going to start with Harry Diamond first.
Thank you. Yeah, I became a student of BPM RIA about 12 years ago already. I think was a year before Antonio started, and we both came up, worked together even, did some deals together, and both climbed the ranks pretty quickly due to the wonderful tutorage of Anish right here. And we both became very successful in our own specific niches. And one of the things that my wife Victoria and I love about this organization was that it's a safe place to gather information. No one's trying to steal your deals from you, and there's enough for everybody. So we felt very comfortable to be here. And because of the organization's size, we're able to see the changes in the market taking place. This is very important. Before most everyone else does. So we're able to adapt to those changes. And that's why we share this information with you, so you can be successful too. So we've had a great year. We're not done yet. There's 2 or 3 that are going to close by the end of this year. We were just out at a property this morning with one of our mentees, our students. We're going to close before Christmas. I have another one that's going to close before Christmas. So these, we're ending the year strong, and we want you to join us. Set up now, because next year we'll get you jump started for next year. It is going to be a very unique year, especially in the condo market. But you will see some amazing things happening like we do every year. Just want to be a part of the organization, part of the team, so that you can be at the forefront of gathering this information and join us on these wonderful trips we go on. February is the National RIA Cruise, so we're all excited. Got to hear Alexa sing. We won't go further into that one, but she has a voice of an angel.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of inside jokes we have with because as friends and family to watch us grow, it's been pretty funny.
It's been great. And I'll pass it along to my younger, better looking self, Antonio.
Hey everybody. So yeah, I mean, what can I say? I mean, this year has been
Well, you want to give me your background, like so for some of the people what you do.
oh, so what I do. So what I do is I dabble a little bit in everything. I dabble in short-term rentals, right? I've been doing that for about 6, 7 years. I've been in wholesaling, rehabbing, flipping since about 2012 when I joined the program. And like Harry said, it was just, pretty much straight up from there, luckily. Now, there were some ups and downs, obviously, and that's what we'll be talking about today. But otherwise, I'm here to share my knowledge, share my experience, and support you guys in your journey in becoming a successful real estate investor.
Yeah, and I'm going to start with Antonio a little bit just to watch his progress. One of the things he's being nice about or modest, I should say, about his short-term rental. The amount of the numbers are insane is number one of what you've done. And he really understands processes. And he's been asked to speak at the IMN conference as an expert for short-term rentals, actually last year in Texas, January 15th and 16th here in Miami, as one of the leading experts in the short-term rental space. So if some of you guys are in that space and you have some questions, that's going to be more towards Antonio. And the other background also is, for both these guys, they really didn't have any real estate experience coming into this, right? And now you guys are doing this full time. So I think that's always important depending on where you're at, right? So some people said, oh, it must be nice because you have all this experience, you're doing this. We all started somewhere. And even for me, my first deal, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm putting $500 down. Oh my God, I don't know if it's a deal or not, right? So for me, I remember that same kind of fear. So I'm going to kind of run this, and today is going to be, it's not my show. You can even ask me, I'll moderate it, but it's the same thing that, you could come back, ask me questions too. One of the things, what we will stay away from, and I'll use this loosely, is that the politics stuff we're going to stay away from. We know who our new president is. For me, the only thing I ask is, that we're one nation. You heard me say it if you're at our in-person meeting in November, the day after the election, it still is the United States of America. And at the same time, I am going to ask you guys, and I'll let either one of you guys pick it, is with the new administration, even though I said, again, nothing personal, let's just talk on the business end of it. What do you think, or what are you guys feeling that now that we're going to have Trump on? And I'll let either one of you guys. Do you think it's going to affect anything? Let's
World War III, we're all going to die. No, I'm just kidding. So far the hype is pretty strong.
Yep.
This guy did win the popular vote, which was I was pretty surprised. But regardless, the hype surrounding and kind of like the excitement in the air. I know it's not for everybody, but for most of the business owners, most of the real estate investors that I speak to, everybody's kind of excited. Everybody's hoping this thing is gonna. I mean, I think it's been going fine, and I think we could always do better.
Yeah, absolutely. Harry, what do you got? And again, we're staying on the business end of it, no personal of what we think, good or bad. I don't want to hear it. Otherwise, we'll lose half the people that
Let's
are like,
not
hey,
talk about politics, but let me ask you,
great
First question
country.
about politics.
We have a great country, and no matter who's in office, we support them. It's just the way this country works. I think from what we're seeing, that there's a lot of business people and a lot of money. Certainly, we're seeing this in the stock market that appears to be very favorable
Mhm.
to go in this direction for this kind of change. Um, it's something that may turn out to be very, very good. Regardless of who's in office, the stock market said it was going to do well. And regardless of who's in office, politics aside, South Florida has always been a microcosm for amazing real estate potential deals and very high profits. It is a place that everyone in the world wants to be, not only for all the advantages, tax advantages, and other things, but certainly the weather. It plays a major role in people all over the world that want to be here. So that's what's keeping South Florida prices driving higher. And real estate is the only renewable resource that we have. I've already sold two houses twice, the same house twice in this time frame. I don't hope to get a third one, but if it shows up, definitely I'm going to be there. It is something that there's a ton of properties out there. There is really more than enough for everyone to do well. So everybody that's part of this organization, all the sponsors, all the vendors, everybody who's involved has the same like-minded thinking, where everyone is sharing information openly, willingly, and without any ulterior motive, because no one's stealing deals from anyone else. The industry is way too small, and if you do something wrong, uh, sooner or later, the entire industry knows it, usually sooner. And you just you can't run your business like that. So being a friendly environment and having this kind of like-minded thinking, it's a place where we have a lot of fun. We do travel, we do go on cruises, we do have dinners, we do, do happy hours, other things, because we're all, you know, bettering our lives, our families' lives. And, it takes a lot of stress off of you in other areas. Real estate, that's why we started. I didn't know anything about real estate. I just knew it was an additional stream of income. So it has become our primary stream of income. And now I'm focused on building tax-free growth, and that has skyrocketed 300% in the last year. So there's some really impressive things that are happening, and we're here to help you guys do the exact same thing. We were all, like Anish said, we're all in the same boat. We started not knowing anything, all being scared, afraid to pull the trigger. A lot of us, I don't know how many people, maybe we can get some response in the chat here. Has anyone else done a nationwide program? Most of us have. We spent tens of thousands of dollars, 40, 50. I know Nish and I spent over 50,000 and others. And we learned a little bit about a lot of things, but never enough to pull the trigger. And that was always something. So I know a lot of people have done that and very, very little success there. But in this organization, Victoria, my wife, and I have had.
Harry, I'm gonna shorten this a little bit because I got some tough questions for you. You're not running for office.
Keep politics out of it. So.
I'm playing with you. I'm playing with you on that. Exactly. So quick version for me, 2000, Trump's first presidency, I made a bunch of money. Biden's presidency, I made a bunch of money. And I think, again, Trump's presidency, I'll make a bunch of money. So win, win, win. So I'm easy all the way through when it comes to that. What I want to actually talk about, right, is because we're doing a recap on 2024. So and by the way, I just want you guys to know, whoever's listening, these guys have no idea what I'm going to ask them. This is 100% putting him on the spot on the questions. I may ask him. Sometimes I might push it a little bit, and then, you feel free if you don't want to answer it. That's okay too. Antonio, what my question for you is on the short-term rental world, right? With legislation, my favorite legislation. What are you seeing, especially in the Florida market? I mean, we could even specify. I know the Miami Beach markets, things are different now, or restrictions, or what? Can you give us what you've seen in 2024 versus past years, or just an update?
I mean, so I can really only speak for the Broward,
Okay.
particularly the Fort Lauderdale market, because that's the
Yep.
one that I really pay attention to. And the only thing that has changed to get your license is that you have to have a noise monitor. That's pretty much it. You have to have a noise monitor. I already had a noise monitor, so it also detects crowds. So if the thing jumps from like, 5, 6 people, 8 people to 25 people, then there's a problem, right? But anyways, as far as legislation, I mean, I haven't really seen anybody push against or for more legislation. I like that they added the noise monitor, because I think it takes hosts to. I think what's the word? I'm stuck here with the word. It
It
like
takes the responsibility like off of you guys, like
it
kind of a
it
little bit.
it's not so much because I put it in there because I didn't want parties and I didn't want noise, right? And it's all automated. It sends a text message. It's super cool and nerdy. And but what I'm saying is it exposes the rest of the hosts in the market that actually have their license to this type of technology, right? And there's a lot more technology that's crazy inexpensive, that's very easy to implement and very easy to monitor. So
You want to give a couple examples of what you added, just out of curiosity?
yeah, so I mean, I've had a lot of this stuff for a long time. Recently, what we added was something called StayFi. So I don't know if you guys have gone into a restaurant and you connect to the Wi-Fi. It doesn't have a password, but when you log on, you get to a page called a splash page. So now instead of me only collecting the person who made the reservation's contact info, now I get everybody's contact info. And so another thing that we started implementing, which I actually took from the bigger companies at the IMN, is to do an email campaign towards them. Next thing we're working on is a text message campaign, and then the next thing that we want to do is have both text message and email campaigns include automated messages that go out whenever we have a drop in occupancy. So, for example, if tomorrow nobody's at my house, right, I'll give them a 10-15% discount on the first and the second night, but I'll leave the third and the fourth night alone. So it kind of balances out. I try to make as much money as possible, obviously, but that's the key.
That's awesome.
That's been one of the challenges that we've been able to overcome this year is the marketing aspect. It hasn't really been about legislation or anything like that.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, the Fort Lauderdale officer came in, he checked the house, he's like, "You're good to go." I was like, "Cool."
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's awesome on that. And again, it depends on your local. I could just tell you, North Bay Village, we have a mutual friend, Wendy, that does luxury Airbnbs, and they're like, it's a nightmare. She's constantly fighting legislation. Same thing I know about Miami Beach. They're having issues. I don't know if you guys know what's happening this week in Miami. It's Art Basel this weekend, or this week, I should say. They put you need a permit to throw parties on Star Island and Palm Island, because there are literally hundreds to 1,000 people coming to the house, right? So they're like, meaning you want to be on top of stuff is what I've seen. And so all the markets aren't the same when it comes to that. So I think that's always important when you start looking at short-term rentals on that portion. So I appreciate it. And the thing is, Antonio, like I do like, obviously you're licensed, right? Like you explain that the code officer comes in. So you're doing it all the right way.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, I truly believe in legislation for short-term rentals. There are some excessive laws that have been passed, like in Hawaii. I believe Atlanta was another area, New York was another area. there was some a new legislation that was passed like about a year ago that supposedly I believe gave either more power or less power to the local authorities. Honestly, the way Fort Lauderdale does it, I think is great. If you have a pool, you do need some additional items, but both the items that you need to purchase as well as the fees that you need to pay are are easily justifiable with the money you can make in doing this.
Yep. Hey, Antonio, do you mind, what was the service that you used to collect the emails?
It's called StayFi, StayFi.com.
Yeah.
And if you guys, let me get you guys a link. I'll put it in the chat. Okay.
Yep.
I think I could
Yep.
get you guys a discount.
There you go. Awesome. Yeah, that helps out. And that, so what you're saying is that if Harry, you and I got an Airbnb and it was booked under your name and I wanted to get on the Wi-Fi, you'll collect my information too and Harry's information.
Correct.
And now you can market to the three of us versus just the one.
Correct. Exactly.
Right?
And it'll
Okay.
be almost instant. You'll get an email and a text message almost instantly when you sign up. And it also, the next thing that we're working on, because we want to, there are opportunities to increase revenue, right? There's different revenue streams. One thing is bringing in, having professional association, not a professional associations, I'm sorry, but having business associates, other companies that I work with, such as massage therapists, such as chefs. One thing that we've been wanting to try out is where if the person's going to come stay for a month, which is a lot of our stays, we could fill in their fridge for them, right? There's a lot of stuff that we still haven't put into effect, right? Only because of time. And the real reason behind that is just the acquisitions part of my company has actually taken off.
Yep.
You know, I've gotten more deals this year under contract than I think I have in the last 3 years
Yep.
combined.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it in a minute. I'm going to, because like I will focus on one subject matter, but I know, and I'm like, we're going to talk about your expansion too and how you've been doing it too, because
Yeah.
I want people to understand that about. Go ahead.
I also want to say one last thing about the short-term rental thing. You know, like I thought this year wasn't going to be as good as last year. Just had a feeling, right? Turns out we made about 20% more this year, and the year's not done yet. So we're up to like 98 and some change. Last year we ended at, I believe, either 75 or 77, something like that. So,
Okay.
you know, this year
We're
has
going to
been,
deep dive it
yeah.
because I know why some of the things, but I'm going to ask you those tough questions on that because
Okay.
it is pretty interesting on what's happened to you. And I know for Harry, right? So what I'm going to compare on this, I love having Harry and Antonio, like meaning it's the yin and yang, right? And then I'm the in between, right? Guy like that does both or all of it. So so Antonio being, I always get this wrong, Jen, you're a millennial, right?
I'm an elder millennial.
Okay.
I'm like at the
Right?
very
I'm Gen X, Harry,
Baby boomer.
baby boomer, right?
One of
So
the last ones.
You're not a baby boomer.
One
Yeah.
of the last
You're
ones.
too young to be a baby boomer. You weren't in, I think baby boomers, no, they came after World War II. I'm sorry.
Just because we were cabin mates on the cruise to
Yeah, and the reasons, so not to be totally ageist, I can be ageist, I guess, is meaning all three of us grew up in different technologies. So when I spend time with Antonio, it's amazing to see how far he's come and using technology, right? And to really grow his business. And then Harry grows his business the old-fashioned way, right? So Harry, there's a lot of new people on here. Look, I'm laughing. There's some boomers. The boomers are getting some love. Thanks, Monty. I see that. And so, like, what would you say, right? Like, let's talk about how you get deals. Like, how much money do you spend on marketing?
how much do business cards cost? Because that's it.
Yeah, for 500 business card, $25, $30, $40. Yep. Right. So like as we're just because there are new people that don't know you. So again, so marketing is zero, but how do you find deals? Like what's the secret sauce?
Well, I had a lot of goals when we first started, and they morphed over time and changed. So which is a good thing. I'm kind of lazy by nature, procrastinator, whatever. So I don't want to work that hard, and I
Mhm.
sort of fell into a niche that is enabled us to earn a very nice income and help others do the same. So I don't send mail. I know I'm missing out on business. I know.
Well, tell everyone your niche first, right? Again, remember, I see a lot of new names, so they probably don't know your niche.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's true. I don't see the name, so I know I can, but I can't see the glasses aren't strong enough.
those baby boomers.
My niche is basically short sales, pre-foreclosure, short sales or with equity, but pre-foreclosure is my niche. I love doing probates and other things. I don't deal with probates and on a direct probate market, but when the pre-foreclosures have probate requirements, we do that as well. So I keep it very straight and narrow. I take a very like a sniper approach versus a shotgun approach. So I'm very micro focused on this direction. And yes, I'm missing all the other stuff out there. And if I was 20,
So,
30,
so how many properties? Let's talk about that for a second. So 20, like how many properties, quote unquote, on that sniper? Are you working only you're only researching one, five? Like what? Like remember for our audience,
no,
they have no idea.
in well, let me give you a quick example. I ran a new list just in 16 zip codes in Broward County for a 1 month time frame. And there were 350 new pre-foreclosures in that 1 month time frame, just in 16 zip codes. I think there's 53 zip codes in Broward County. So there's a tremendous amount of pre-foreclosures going on. We haven't even talked about the other counties. And I'm seeing the market change. There's about 50 that I'm looking at more closely. The others are condos. There is a tremendous shift in the condo market. And I think it's going to get a lot worse, but it's a different topic right now. So continue.
Wait. So that actually Gail's asking a question about that. Is it too early to buy condos now? Which I'll ask.
I mean, it depends on the price.
I agree.
I mean, it depends on the price. I mean, we purchased a condo, we purchased a townhouse, um, we purchased another condo, we got another condo under contract. So, we're getting these at the best prices that we can possibly get them at, right?
And pre-foreclosure?
Pre-foreclosure, every single one. Yeah. And I did have to hold on to one, and I think we'll talk about that later.
Yep.
Actually, a
You can
couple
talk
of
about it.
them.
You can
So
actually let's talk
yeah,
about it now.
okay.
Yeah.
So, so at the beginning of the year, I thought rates were gonna fall, and luckily for me, we've been experiencing basically like an up market since I started. Now that I see the difference in pricing and I see the hold times have increased, I see this is not exactly a down market, but it's definitely not an up market, because most of the time when I used to price my properties, they would either sell, well, they would sell super fast, and usually someone else would come and make some money on top of it, regardless of what I thought the top price. So I thought to myself, I don't want to do this time. I want to make all the money. And so it was the wrong time to implement that strategy. Okay. Because prices did not go up, not like I expected them to. I thought there was going to be a rush as soon as the interest rates fell. And that just hasn't been the case. And that's been it's been a big learning experience. On one property, we did net like 35K
Yeah.
or something.
Can we just talk? Can I just ask you the details on it, like to an extent? Meaning, like you bought it at the beginning of the year. Was it
Mhm.
2-2? No, it's a 1-1, right? What was it?
I have a 3, 2.5,
One.
one bed, one bath that I bought last year.
Yeah, let's talk about the 1-1 that you just sold.
Yeah. So the 1-1, um, did what I always did, right? Go on the market, look at the highest comps. In
You
this
fixed it
case, I
up.
wasn't, I'm
You
sorry.
you fixed it up, right?
So
Or
that's
no,
what I was going
somewhat.
to say. I looked at the comps in the area. So the property that I had, I didn't redo the kitchen, I didn't redo the bathrooms, but I did learn that if we redo the floors and the what is it called? The footboard. I'm sorry, real estate
Baseboard.
investor, the
Baseboard.
baseboard. Yeah, there you go.
Baseboard.
um, that it looks really, really nice. It looks really nice with the thank you. um, it looks really nice with the LEDs. You clean it up, and usually it sells as quickly as I put it up, because what I do is that I'll look at the ARV, and let's say in this particular case the ARV was about 226. Usually I'll put it up at the market like at 219 to kind of make it, but basically the work they have to do, I'll subtract it. In this case, what I did, I put it up for 249. So the highest comp was 226 and I put it up for 249. So that was a mistake. And I learned pretty quickly not to do that. And at
Wait,
the end of the day,
wait,
another,
before you get in the day, so how much were you in it for? Right? So
so I
like
was in it at like
he's saying
one.
he's saying it's a mistake. So what I want everyone to know, right? Okay, it's not the effect that he wanted, meaning it's a mistake where he still made money. It was just over exaggerated. So he's in the property for how much altogether?
So I was in the property all in. I bought it for 119. My rehab cost was, and I'm looking at this screen because I want to give you guys the real
Yeah.
numbers. Rehab cost was 83.91, so roughly $8,400, right?
Yeah.
And the HOA fee was like 275, so it wasn't much. So if you get the Reno expense and the buy price at 119, the cost of money wasn't very high. So I thought to myself, you know what? I'm gonna, well, I can't curse, so I'm going to test this strategy out. And it just didn't work in my favor because I didn't make as much money as I wanted to.
Correct.
Another thing that happened was that even after about 4 months, I still didn't get it. So I got a really great offer actually. And I just took a little too long to sign it because I was still waiting. I was like, oh, let's see if somebody else comes in. Nobody else came in. I signed the offer. I sent it back. The lady all of a sudden doesn't want to sign the offer, doesn't want to sign the new price. And I had it at 223. So I ended up selling it for 200 like a week ago. So
Yeah.
it wasn't like I lost money because I was all in at like one after so much expenses on the interest. That's
Sure.
really what killed me because I held it for like a year, a little bit more than a year. I was all in at 162. I netted 33.5.
Yeah.
So I could have netted a lot more, right? But that's the lesson that I'm learning. I'm $20,000-$30,000 less rich because I was like holding on to this ideal versus just really looking at the numbers and just executing. Hey, 220 something, 215, let's go.
Yeah.
You're
And
buying
there's some cool, like there's some important points that you shared, which I really appreciate is, since you've been in this business, you've been in an up market. So the people that have been like, in this for a while, like me, we've seen that, like the punch in the stomach is probably what I'm gonna say. And so a lot of the new wholesalers, like they're, I hate to say it, like we know a lot of local guys and they're young and they've been doing great. And now it's, not as many deals, the numbers are tighter, this is happening. And
What's crazy is that I've gotten more deals, but they've just been tougher to get rid of. That's been the issue for me this year. That's been something new because I usually, like I said, I price it right. I did everything like I usually did, but I just went a step above to see if somebody would bring it down a little bit and I'd still get more than I thought I would. But it just didn't work out that way.
but the cool thing is your non-workout still netted you 30 something thousand.
Yeah.
Yeah, on your not, like it's not a bad lesson to learn and
Correct.
still make money.
Correct.
That's the whole point. And what I think that's also really important is that, me saying that, or like I don't know all the answers either, right? I don't know if that condo, every market's a little bit different. And because you had so much spread,
I could mess around.
you're able to, I don't want to say mess around, but mess around.
Oh yeah, I messed around.
right? Because
There's
because
you know, I
you
promised
could've-
I promised on my Instagram story that I would be transparent. So there it is, guys. You know,
Yeah.
but there is another property that I sold that I made like 140,000.
I know.
So and I made
I
100K on
know.
Airbnb.
I
So
mean,
and I still got
today's
another one that
about
I got under contract. Not me buying it. I bought it already. I'm selling it. We should be closing by the end of the month. That's like another 100K.
yeah.
So
Listen, man, I love that. I'm gonna mess with Harry's defense mechanism too. I figured out if Antonio makes less than 35,000, it's a defense mechanism to go to his bigger deals.
no, and you
No,
know
I
what?
love it. I
And in
love it.
all
No, I love it.
honesty, you know, because of Harry's record-setting deals and the way that he does it, I changed up my strategy a little bit as well. You
Mhm.
know, and it improved my results. It really did. When I saw
Yeah.
Harry making, 150, 230,000 on one deal, I was like, well, I'm obviously doing something not that he's doing, like so I changed my stuff around a little bit. I adjusted and it worked really well. And I did that like about two or 2.5, 3 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, yeah. It's the big difference on that. I could definitely see the
Thank you,
difference.
Harry.
It's a 10% commission for that.
Yeah. You know what?
Uh-huh.
What I do want to share actually is like in the beginning, you guys said, "Hey, it's the organization," and granted, I was a mentor. What I really want you guys to know is I learned a ton of stuff from Harry. I learned a ton of stuff from Antonio, the other mentors on that end of it. I have the privilege to see a bird's eye view. And so the key is, like the three of us, I know we do well, and we're always improving. And the other cool thing is, as Antonio's talking about, like it's transparency, right? Like I'm going to tell you some of the deals I missed out. I'll talk about a deal I missed out on because I got emotional on it. So and then we'll talk about the deals that do really well too, right? Harry, you want to talk about? I mean, since we're going to talk about when things didn't go as well, I know there's been deals that our students have gotten that were literally in your backyard where you spoke to them. They liked you. They didn't go with you.
Is that because
you
of
want to talk
follow-up, Harry?
about?
Well, what happened was I didn't follow up.
Yeah, that happens to me
They
too.
said they were declaring bankruptcy, and I just didn't follow up. So when the bankruptcy was dismissed, that was the right place for Sandra to get in on 2 of my deals. But and Sandra made some good money. It was great. It was funny because Sandra asked me to join her, and as soon as the homeowner opened the door, he goes, "I know you." But that's that. I didn't mind that at all.
Yeah.
It's just fun to help Sandra and everyone else, and so
Antonio, I got a new plan. I'm going to get Harry's list. He's not going to follow up, and we'll close on all his houses.
They're like, yeah, I know Harry. He's great.
suddenly
I know Harry was here.
Oh, he's here? He was here? Oh, that's great. He's a great guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's not going to follow
Sign
up.
here.
I've announced my retirement. I get 25% on all.
There you go. I'm gonna before I move further, I'm gonna take some questions in the Q&A. So my dear friend Kelly, number one, is it possible to wholesale a deal if the property's on the MLS? If I get it under contract at a huge discount. So
Yeah.
the answer is yes, right? And it depends. What I mean by that is your idea of a discount, a huge discount, might be different than mine. And Kelly, I know you're a licensed agent as your background. So what we've seen is a lot of realtors, and they've been longtime realtors, but they haven't been on the investment side. And so some of the challenges, hey, the house is worth 300,000, I could get it to you for 270. But you got to do this. I'm like, well, how are we going to make money? Right. So that was, you can, I'll tell you the other drawback. Actually, we could talk about the deal that you have under contract, I guess, Harry, a little bit on, in Pompano for 5. It's listed.
I won't go, but
Yeah. Well, no address. So like it's listed for 525, right?
yeah, was reduced to 525. I went to take a look at the house. actually 10 houses away from where I live, and I missed 2 other deals in my neighborhood because I never really played in this price market, and I lost out on 2 deals that would have been great. So I decided to go after this one, and I listened to the realtor, and I just locked it up at 500 to see what we could do. But with the amount of work that had to be done and the comps, there was just no profit margin whatsoever.
Yeah. And the second thing that on the marketing end of it, right? This is what I told Harry is great, you have it for 500. What are you going to put it out for? 525? I would know right away. I'm like, he's a wholesaler. He's not going to close on that. Right? Like, why would I'm a realtor, I'd save money on this, I could discount it on that end of it. It doesn't make any sense because most people are going to look at what the list price is also. So that's the challenge. If you would have got it around 400, that's different. They're still going to have to do their numbers. So I don't want you to think, the numbers are the numbers. You can send out your contractor, but that initial email, because you could put in a chat, if you guys are on a lot of wholesale lists, what's the number one pain point that goes on that wholesale list? The prices are too high. How am I going to make money? But the answer is yes, we've done them, and you do need to get a bigger discount, generally speaking, on that end of it. So,
Like in the 400 range where some of the others have been bought before. But I listened to the realtor that she has other offers, and so I figured I'd lock it up and then see if I can get a lower price. But
yep, absolutely. Charles is asking, Antonio, have you started to make the move to get bookings out of Airbnb? I've seen people talking about trying to move bookings outside.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's like our number one goal, not just from Airbnb, just from anywhere. That's why we started the direct marketing to get more return customers. Another thing that we've been seeing is a lot of folks have been reaching out. We improved our listing on Google as well as connected our channel manager to Google. So it's two different things, connecting your channel manager and having like a business on Google. And we've been getting more calls through that. And then sometimes people find us, like they'll find us on Airbnb and they'll just Google our name and we'll pop right up. They'll call Margie, which Margie is my assistant and property manager. And she's trained. She's trained. She's trained to be I don't want to say aggressive because aggressive sounds bad, but meaning like she'll try to get them in. She'll be like, hey, and it's true. Our property is super
Persuasive.
high in demand. Yeah.
Persuasive.
Not so much persuasive, but like,
Yeah.
lots of urgency, lots of value, lots of questions, right? There's a little formula that, not necessarily a formula, but yeah, a formula that we have to, that's been working for us to get people in and paid.
Got
And
it.
it's been
Okay.
working very well. Yeah. It's like, we want
yeah.
the money now.
Yeah, absolutely. Since we're talking about VAs and all that stuff, so guess who's on the hook now? Miss Alexa, right? So people always ask us. I know they ask you. So actually, do you want to tell them where do you live full time? Well,
Oh, well, I
but
was
let's
about
start
to
with
pull
that
up
because
my affiliate link.
no, because everyone thinks that you live in South Florida here full time. So
Yeah, well, when we did the rebrand over to BPM RIA, as Anish said, formerly Bria and Miami-Dade RIA, I got hired at the RIA during COVID. So absolutely no in-person events. So, we've come a long way. We made it back. We survived. But yes, during that whole thing, my boyfriend actually works for the Navy Ocean Engineering. So we ended up in Panama City Beach, right by the Navy base up here. And so I've actually been doing the back and forth, all of that for quite some time, like at least 3 years, 2.5, 3 years, been going back and forth, living part-time in Panama City Beach, over in the Panhandle. It's about an 8.5 hour drive from South Florida. And if you guys know me, I am your Broward baby, born and raised in Broward. Never left. The farthest I went was FAU in Boca. That's where I got my business degree. That's where Derek got his ocean engineering degree. So yeah, guys, I love the freedom that I have now working from home, but it's like you guys need a team. It's like we're not in the office. We don't have our, coworkers here with us, but we need a team still. And we don't have to be in the same room, in the same office to get that done. So I was super grateful that Anish is in other masterminds and he travels the country going to meet other professionals, other super, super successful business owners. And that's how we met the outsourcing company that we use now for our VAs. So, kind of long story short, but it got to a point where, yeah, we finished the rebrand and transitioned through, different staff members. But I have to say, the virtual assistants that I have now, I don't know. I don't know how I was surviving without them. I really don't. And that's what I've been hearing across the board from different people that I meet through the National RIA conferences, for example. All the different investors, the leaders, everybody, they are just as soon as they take the step forward into, investing some time into finding that virtual assistant, their whole life changes. Like I know Antonio knows what I'm talking about. He knows Be Epic outsourcing very well, but oh my gosh, you guys, it's just I'm gonna put my affiliate link in the chat very soon, but if you have not looked into a virtual assistant or if you're not even on ChatGPT, I just please book a call with me. Book a
No,
call.
don't do it. Don't get on ChatGPT. Don't do
Yeah.
it.
Like
Yeah, you
seriously, yeah, you're
book a call
doing
with my virtual assistant. No.
literally,
Yeah, exactly. There you
literally,
go.
Yeah, and
literally.
I'm going to add to that. So, like, not that there's a good thing about the pandemic, right? We're all forced in different levels.
Oof.
Always knew about virtual assistants. I hired some in the past, but I didn't actually do the right framework of research, and I didn't actually have a plan for them. Is really what it comes down to.
Mm.
I just thought all virtual assistants are created equal, just like all realtors, lenders are created equal. Not, right? And so in directly what happened was the pandemic, obviously, and so even this past 2024, I think we said we did well over 90 events that we hosted in person, out person, whatever that looks like. And it was we were forced to build out our team is the easiest way, right? What's important as you guys are building your business. I know Antonio, since he's got employees in actually different countries, the answer is you want to build your business and you want to make your employees happy, right? If you're starting to build out a brand, you want to actually be the brand, live it, right? If you want to really show financial freedom and fun, you should be doing that, right? And again, that's some of the things that we all go on a national cruise together. That's why we just laugh that we have a lot of inside jokes. Just we always have a good time, and and I'll tell you some of the challenges that I have, and you can put in the chat. How many of you guys have control issues? All right, go ahead and put in chat. And the people that don't put in the chat, they were like, you can't tell me to put it in the chat. They're already saying that, right? And so that was a massive thing for me. It still is. I'm working through it. Same thing with Alexa. And I said, hey, we gotta give these other tasks away. And she was like, no. Like, a no, but and I guess you're my boss and we'll try it.
Yeah.
And
It's very
not
true.
knowing and communicating is big, right? We're in different cities. So many people don't know. A lot of times we're not in the same city, country, all the above.
All the above.
All
Yeah.
the above. And it makes a big difference to start building out those pieces. And I know, Antonio, do you want to add? I know you were going to talk about a little bit about your virtual assistants, what you have them doing, because
Yeah. Your
on the
team is
personal and
awesome.
business, if you don't mind sharing.
Yeah. No, I push him to do some personal stuff sometimes. And it's because, I have that. It's exactly what you said. It's, it's realizing that these folks, they want to work. Like they're waiting for this. They
Yeah.
want to work because if you don't give them work, they don't get paid. And they might find someone else. It's almost like a rehab crew. You know, if you're painters, your plumbers, your electricians, whoever, your roofer, whatever, right? If these guys are scattered around in different projects, that just costs me more money, right? So I try to get consecutive houses. So it's the same thing with the work. I think the only difference is that, you know, these folks are directly under me, right? Whereas some of the guys that go and work on the house, you just give them a call, right? They go, they do their thing, they call me back, hey, this and this and this is wrong. I usually charge this much, but I'm going to charge you this much. I'm like, whatever. With the VAs, a lot of them don't have, like, they don't already come pre-trained in real estate, especially the way that we do it. It's a very particular way that we do our deals. So, um, at first I was like cracking the whip because I've done this before. I've been doing it for whatever, 13 years, 12 years or whatever. So it's like, I know how to do it. I know you can do it because if I can do it, you can do it. Right. But what I soon came to learn was that number one, I can't overwhelm them.
Yeah,
And even before that, what I actually came to realize is just they're people just like me. You know,
exactly.
so I got to know them. Like one of my assistants, she just got married. So I sent her some extra money as a wedding gift, right? And I know about her kids. Another assistant that I have has a physically challenged brother, right? And my dad is disabled, so I totally get it. So now I understand. I'm like, okay, I can be a little bit more flexible, but I'm still holding her to account because I need the results. I don't
Right,
care when you do them, right? And I'm totally understanding, and we still have a job to do, right?
right.
I've actually gone and visited one of my other VAs, um, which is kind of my friend now. He's super cool. I mean, the kid couldn't be any more cool and professional. I mean, it's just like this.
Oh,
I wasn't like him when I was 26. I'll tell you that. I don't even remember what I was doing when I was 26. This guy's so focused. He's so focused. Hopefully, I think I'm kind of grooming him to become the CEO because he just totally gets it, right? And like you said, I want to make sure that they get paid. So my VA in the Philippines, both of them, they get paid pretty good, right? And not because I'm overpaying them, no, because I've built commission structures and I've also created hours and tasks for them so they're happy working for me. You know, I mean, I could go on and on about some of the things they've said about me, and I'm just like, really? Like, that's what I'm doing for you? I
oh,
didn't know it was that important. You know, like I'm just
Yeah.
working.
yeah.
So
Sounds like you
it's
have
been
another business opportunity to share with others and build that
it's
out.
yeah, it's just
I've been
been
watching that. That's what I want.
professionally speaking, it's been such a year of growth and learning and understanding and I'd say compassion and empathy for the VAs. That's been the biggest thing for me.
Yeah. Can,
Exactly.
can I add, like, and you guys, all three of you guys could comment on this because obviously we want to make money, right? Like, that's why we're doing this on that end of it. Would you guys want to share, and it's up to you guys, on how your personal life might have changed this past year? On ups, downs, it doesn't matter, more time, not time, like anything
Ah,
like that you've seen because you're like you kind of got your business in order. I know it's still a work in progress. And because one of the things is that we always focus on the work stuff, and I get it. I'm Indian. Listen, if I wasn't working 80 hours a week, then you're lazy. Like, I had all these
mhm.
misconceptions growing up on that end of it. Like, you got to work hard. Again, I'm not afraid of working hard, and I want to work smarter, right? On that end of it. So if any of the three of you want to share, a personal way, it doesn't matter, anything that you want to share on the personal side. Because I want everyone to see it's equally important, if not more.
I don't know if anybody
I
wants to
feel
go.
like I went on like slightly less trips this year, but not really. But I've been more into like the routine in the gym and eating breakfast, went back to church, been like praying, like doing like the Bible stuff. Like I've been like doing more like internal work, less like external. So that was a little bit different this year, but I'm ready to book some trips, so
Although I'm kind of laughing, I feel like Nashville,
I
Charlotte.
know,
We've been on
right?
like
I did
6
go on a
trips.
few. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay, you're right. I did go on trips. Well,
But relatively
at least
speaking,
I'm
less. That's
consistent.
fine. That's fair enough on
Yeah,
that end
close
of it.
trips, close
Yeah.
proximity.
Yeah. I mean, there's some others that we've done, whether it's an Alaska cruise,
Yes,
we've gone to the Copa America game. We've
yes,
done it.
big
We've kind of
stuff.
done it all on that end of it
World
too.
Series.
So,
You guys
uh,
did the World Series this year.
World Series. Yeah. So me, I'll add, I'll go before, I'll let you guys think. So as a big Yankee fan, flew out to, and I don't want to hear the boos. I will delete you guys if you talk about the Yankees. You won't be my friend. I'm already hurt. So one of the things is that as a diehard Yankee fan, to go out to the World Series and so what, and I'm going to just talk about this trip is that luckily or not luckily, or the life I've created is given me the freedom of having the right team. That everything's going to be okay, even though my control side says everything's not going to be okay. They need me. And then you realize if you have the right people, they actually don't need you as much as you think when it comes to it. And as the Yankees, it was like that was a Wednesday night, and they're going to the World Series, and it's in LA. And I said to myself, and Alexa knows, I'm like, should I go tomorrow or not, or this? And I was like, I
What's
really want to
the
go.
life
It's been 15
like?
years. I could, the tickets are this is why I shouldn't go. And then I was like, oh no, I do well. I could afford that. Not a big deal. I should go, not go. And then I called up Antonio and I said, it was like Wednesday about 4 o'clock. And I said, hey, I think I'm going to the World Series. You want to go? And
In LA.
I gave him a 2 hour window of saying, like, are you going or not? Because it's gonna be a difference in hotels, everything, tickets, and all that stuff. And it was the funniest part was I wasn't sure. I was like, I basically asked him to be unreasonable, right? Who says like, hey, tomorrow you want to go to, we're gonna do this. And he goes, all of a sudden within 2 hours, I get a text and it's a ticket, it's a flight out to from on Delta from Miami to LA in the morning. I'm like, oh, I didn't even book my ticket. I guess I'm going. Right. And we figured it out all the way through. And without a doubt, one of the best trips I've ever been on, despite them losing, just all the way through. And on the personal end, I would have never done that. Right.
Mhm.
Same thing, the Copa America game. I was very fortunate to take my dad. The prices were expensive, and I said, it's about experiences. So what I built for me, same thing is the and, right?
Mhm.
You're working hard and you want to experience this because nothing's guaranteed. And the same thing that you were saying, Alexa, which I think is important, is that reflection of you got to put yourself up first,
Yes,
because how else are you going to help everybody else out? So
amen.
I'll let
Call me Malibu Antonio now.
Malibu. Oh, we did, yeah, Nobu,
That
Malibu,
was
you
so
name it.
cool. That was cool.
Harry, and then I'll let Antonio go if you want, if you got anything to add.
Who, me or Antonio?
It doesn't matter, either one of you.
Tell us, Harry.
Go, Harry.
This year, we've never really worked that hard. Um,
That's awesome.
we work hard, but we don't work that hard. So, we get to have a lot more time freedom to we want. We took an amazing trip through to Paris and Ireland and Belgium and Amsterdam. So it was, flew very comfortably and in the lap of luxury. But one of the other things you mentioned is you talked about control, as if control is a bad thing. Now, yes, certain control is a bad thing because you want to delegate, you want to release some of your responsibilities to others. But at the same time, one of the things I learned a long time ago was something called the art of control. And they're not talking about what I just mentioned. They're talking about being able to control more of what's going on in the deal. And if we can control the bank and the realtors and the probate attorneys, and as an example, the more control we have, the easier it is for these jobs. The same thing with what Antonio was talking about is how to gain more control by releasing that control over, that you have to do everything. When you give it to others, you're able to make it easier. So that opens up your time to be able to do more of what you're doing and expand, or it gives you time to just take a breather when you need to reset and take that vacation and go on a trip, or go to LA on a whim, or Colombia, or any place. And that's what this business has afforded us to do, which is very good. And my Victoria and my mother are both 92, so as they're getting up there, they need more of our attention.
By the way, Victoria's not 92. You mean your mother's 92?
Yeah, did come across my mother's 92. Yeah, I love grannies.
Yeah. You're gonna be in some trouble. I hope that. Please delete that in this recording.
I have to edit this.
If anyone tells
Cut that
Victoria,
out.
I will. In January, you better not mention that to Victoria.
Get that VA to cut that out.
Oops.
But it's like I said, your goals morph. You want a certain thing at a certain age, and as you go towards that, things and events just happen. Whether you age or mature, or business takes you in a slightly different in the up direction, but in a slightly different one than you thought. Because everyone always thinks that you start here and you go to your goal in a straight line. That's not the way success works. It's usually a zigzag pattern that tricks around, but you eventually get there if you focus on that. How you get there, we're not smart enough to know. So we plug in. I release that. So Victoria always said to me, "How do you know?" I said, "I don't know. I don't know how. I just know we're going to get there." And things just happen, and she's pissed off because I'm right. Don't I take that out of the recording too?
This is gonna be some blackmail time. If you guys meet Victoria Diamond at a meeting,
I know, right?
These topics up.
But now in this organization, when we have the luxury trips and the time freedom to do these things, if something comes up expensive, our battle cry is sell another property.
Yeah, I love that. That's the mantra. Like you should frame it like, I'm like, oh my God, that's gonna cost this. He's like, well, we're just gonna wholesale another house. That's the Harry Diamond mode, which I adapted to. So like it's an easy way when you're doing deals, because that makes it easy. You're like, oh yeah, it's gonna cost 10,000 or 20, and you're like, oh yeah, well I could just do another deal. So I know I'm gonna burst through some questions on some of the people are asking, is it a good time to enter the market as a wholesaler? The answer is it's always yes. You just got to buy low and sell low. I know you're also asking about LLCs. What I'm going to tell you is the best thing you're going to want to do is do our 2-day quick start. Also, if you're in our mentoring program, we answer all that and take care of that for you. Unfortunately, both of those questions is more like we spend a day on it or 2 days. So the one sentence answer I'm going to give you is not going to be enough information when it comes to that. Alejandro, like Antonio, can you quickly maybe talk about your commission structure you offer your VAs? Like a quick.
Yeah, so it depends which VA. My executive VA, I give her 1% of the deal net profits, which is a considerable amount for someone living in the Philippines. My cold caller, which is the young man that I spoke about that lives in Colombia, I started him out at 15%. Every 3 deals, it goes up 5%, and it maxes out at 30%, which is very high for a cold caller. And this young man is finding $130,000, $150,000 deals. So I'll give him his commission any and all day. He's taken so much work off of my hands, and he's brought in so much revenue to the company that he deserves a good paycheck. And I'm creating a home for him. And that's pretty much it.
Can we? Yeah,
Go ahead.
the second part of that, because I know, like, can we also talk about what you have? You're having him build out a team, like indirectly a management team within Antlop Investments.
Correct. Yeah. So the idea is to get him to start training the other VAs under him. We're still at the point where I'm not sure if I want him to look for the VAs in Colombia or if I look for the VAs and then put them under him. Maybe I fly out and just train everybody and also sharpen Sebastian's skills. That's one thing that I definitely been. I mean, I went to go meet him, but it wasn't, it was a business meeting, but it wasn't necessarily. We didn't sit down and train. But that's our next step is to go over there, sit down with him for 2, 3 weeks, and just really like literally sit next to him and sharpen his skills to match closer to mine, right? And then yeah, having him build a team under him. So it's still in like the theory stage, right? But that's what we're building. We're like I tell my team, we're on the ground floor.
Yeah. So Ludwig, just the follow-up question to that is that, so do you train? Oh, that's funny. Speak about the wife calling you. Do you train your cold callers personally, or does someone else do that for you?
So I ask my cold callers to come with experience. Especially at this point in my business, I cannot afford to have to train somebody from zero. So this person has to come with some pretty good skills because the ads that I put up are difficult to fill out. They're not easy. They ask really good questions, really intricate and technical questions. And unless the person does all the questions and does all the audio questions, meaning I have to hear their voice, I don't even consider them. And that usually from like, 100 people that try to, apply for the job, I maybe look at 3. And those 3 are the ones. Those 3 guys were the ones. The only reason I picked Seb over some other lady is because Seb was bilingual and he was calling Miami-Dade. It's,
Yeah. So I mean, it's a good point of how many people applied to finally get through your vetting process.
Yeah.
It's not just because I know I know the heartaches of, of the different ways you've tried.
Yeah.
Getting people in
I
there.
have, and just full transparency, I've had cold callers. We did a cold calling marketing campaign about, I think like about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, and it was a complete disaster. Not a single deal. And I had 3 guys call it. I was like, and I would train them and I would offer them more money, and it's just, so it's really about these guys having the experience of speaking to someone. Those are who I want. Farther down the line, will I create a boiler room? Yes.
Right. That makes sense.
We probably don't want to use the boiler room terminology, but yes.
Yeah,
I know
no.
what you mean. I'd say a call center is what he meant to say.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
guess and so I know some people are also asking what do we use to analyze comps? We're using RIAFAX. That's one of our corporate vendor partners with Francisco Mago. BPM, you get a discount if you use the code. I know he's asking ideal hold time. It just depends. And then also the condo HOA prices rising and assessments, that is a challenge. What you're going to want to do is definitely, we're going to talk about that on January 8th. That's going to be that's the crystal ball. What we think of what's going to happen on 2025. But those are excellent questions. Kelly's asking, how do you teach them your processes? Do you have SOPs, video? What are you actually doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So what I did was and this was part of realizing to let go of control was, I'm going to do the work anyways. Why don't I just hop on a Zoom, record it, make sure my assistant watches me and ask me questions throughout. And then what I do is that since the video automatically records on my computer, it's set up to automatically upload to a folder where she has access to all the recordings. So she could just always go back, and it was a learning process. It wasn't like I knew this from the get-go. There are some other tools called Loom, but those are for shorter trainings. Those are for 5 to 10 minutes or whatever.
Or you get the paid version like we do.
Or you get the paid version, which I don't. But Loom is really great. Loom is really, really, really good. But yeah, when I'm usually working with students or someone from my team, I like to take my time. So I just record it on Zoom and I have them do that. And then what I'm having Kat do is she's creating the SOPs. Again, giving that work out. So I can work on, negotiating or telling Seb, yeah, do this or do that, and telling Margie, hey, yes, do this, or You know, you were talking about personal stuff that we do, you know, like I've gone to a bunch of doctor's visits. I've gotten my teeth cleaned like 3 times this year. I just have time for it now.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't do it before, but it would be like maybe one cleaning, maybe two a year. Now I'm gonna go again in December. I got laser on my eye. I've gone and seen the cardiologist. I've seen my PCP like I don't know how many times. So like I've been able to really concentrate on the things that are important for my life, for my lifespan.
Yeah.
I think that's been the biggest thing, and I've done a ton of traveling this year,
Yeah.
and my team has done a really great job. They've done an amazing
I'd
job.
probably say if you've counted your days, you're probably been out of the
Like
country
5, 6 months out of the year.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I'd say
insane.
easily.
I was like, how did I travel so
Yeah.
much this year?
And making more money than ever.
The
I'm making more
VAs?
money than almost any other year. And we'll
Yeah.
see. We still got the rest of the year to go.
Yeah, so that's pretty amazing. Wow, we talk about transparency, man. I didn't know that. What'd you eat for breakfast?
I
He's
know.
transparent.
Steak and eggs.
I love that for you.
He does intermittent fasting, so he's not eating breakfast.
Yeah, I'm not. No, I am. I eat from 10 to 4. Now I'm not eating. I wish,
Okay, there you
'cause
go.
I'm hungry.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Don't
sometimes I get really hungry at night.
switch
But
the subject.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, right? Let's not talk about food. Back to real estate.
Oh,
Yeah,
Charles.
so we got about only a few minutes left, 5 or 6 minutes. Why don't we kind of go through the panel
Mhm.
on 2024? You know, how was it like lasting overall? Like one or two things that I know that really went well. One thing maybe, something we could work on in 2025. Who wants to start with that? I mean, I'm gonna even have to think of these things now too. Shoot.
Well, I'll start. We're working on improving our KPIs and our tracking of the KPIs. That's
Keep-
one thing.
Yeah, wait, I'm sorry, so when he said SOPs, standard operating procedures, keep KPIs, key performance indicators. Just
Yeah,
those.
SOPs is like a little handbook. Imagine having a PDF with pictures and it just tells you exactly how to do a process. That's something that we've already worked on, but now what I've recently been working on with Kat is there's something called Motion AI. All right, and this goes for you guys too. It's an incredible piece of software, and it just has improved my performance or my output by at least 20%. So there's 5 days in a week, right? 20% is like an entire day I get back because I'm able to concentrate so well because everything is just laid out for me. And a great thing about Motion AI is that you can set up projects. So what we're getting accomplished by Q1 of 2025 is having essentially the entire process from A to Z, from the moment that we get a contract to the moment that the money is supposed to hit my bank account or our bank accounts. We have every single little detail processed out. Because just like with Seb and him putting people under him, I want to start putting people under Kat too. And for Kat to be able to manage herself, she's going to have to learn to give away those tasks. And I'm helping her give it away in a way that makes it simpler for the next person that's coming in. So
for
that's
scaling.
just some of the stuff that we're working on. KPIs is improving our KPIs, really improving my own KPIs. Because one thing that I stopped doing was essentially door knocking. I barely go door knocking anymore, which is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's another thing that I want to accomplish by the end of next year is having a door knocking team. So that's just a few things.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Awesome.
Yep. Harry, what do you got on that?
Oh, you want me to follow that? That was great.
Well, you know what? Wait, before that, so I do want to let everyone know, right? Like I should have touched on this. And because all these guys, everyone's vision is different. Right. So I know Antonio, like he wants to build Antelope Investments and be a massive different divisions team. And he's happy. Right. And he's starting to hit all those things that he wants to do. So the funny part, with Harry and Victoria, it's funny. I'm like Antonio, I'm like, man, we should keep building. And then, some people are like, again, they're happy where they're at because they get to do everything they want. Right. So it's not always about building a big brand or a big business. It's about doing the things that you want in your life. And so what I've seen with Harry and Victoria, they really get to do everything they want with less stress. Yeah, there's some real estate stress on deals. Yes, crap's gonna happen, right? Like that's the way it is. And for Harry, like they don't want to rehab. I don't want to deal with managing people. I don't want to deal with this. And I get it, right? So I don't want to, I don't want to discourage anyone that wants to live the perfect life and don't want to build a massive $100 million business that Antonio wants to do. I'm probably in between on where I'm at. And Harry, I'll let you now follow that. So I want to put it in perspective because I don't want everyone to always think like that's what it's about.
The thing that Victoria and I found about this organization was that there was so many different areas of real estate that this organization knows about. So no matter what your focus is on or what your desire is, someone in the organization knows how to do this. And of course, as you've heard, we were all advancing in those areas. Certainly my goal this year will be to follow up more. But when I first started, I was talking about goals earlier. When I first started, I said I want to be my own bank, so this way I don't have to pay those fees. I don't want to be a landlord. I'd rather do seller financing, so it's the same thing. I'm collecting mortgage payments versus rent payments. Don't have to deal with tenants or toilets. And I thought of that, but that morphed over time. I did become my own bank for a while. And now I found a lower rate. I found someone who doesn't charge me as much as I charge myself. But the goal changed to building tax-free retirement growth. And that's what I've really focused on now because I'm getting closer to that retirement age where I can pull that money out. So someone who's younger, you want to have that in your portfolio as part of your plan, but you need something to live on now. So, if you start early, trust me, if you start early, you'll have millions by the time you're my age. And so I'm looking at putting that on steroids so that I can grow this retirement to be able to do more of that time freedom aspect. So really following up in what I'm doing, I'm staying very micro-focused. I'm really kind of bucking the system and fighting and resisting AI and setting up teams. I ran 2 companies in the past. I've been there, done that kind of thing. So everybody is different, like Anish says. So you can have whatever you want and know that this place, this arena, this organization is a safe place to be able to test those markets and test those ideas. And you may find out that your idea is fantastic, but you may also find out that even if it's fantastic, you may shift over a little bit and have a different goal, as I have. So, I love Antonio. I've been watching him from day one. I can't tell you how proud I am of you, Antonio. We've seen you grow in so many ways, personal and professional. And I'm just honored to call you a friend and thank you because I've learned a lot from you. And I'll tell you, I really, really, really wanted, even though it's not what I want to do, is I really, really wanted to learn about how to do the VA stuff and shortcut that learning curve because you've already done it. So I'm going to piggyback on that, but we'll have to talk. But
Yeah, we do. I told you we had to talk. So
Yeah, absolutely. And our beautiful Alexa.
thank you, Harry, by the way.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, Anish.
Yep. No,
I
100%.
already forgot the question. Okay,
I'm very proud
2025.
of Alexa too. That your growth, Anish's growth, Sandra's growth, Julio's growth, everyone that's been a part of this who have stuck with it and being persistent. It's an amazing opportunity to see family grow. They're now part of the family where if they ever called or needed anything, boom, I'm there. And I don't do that for my own.
Well, I appreciate it so much. No, you guys accepted my mom even on the cruise, so I appreciate that. But no, 2025, 2025, Just like Antonio said, like that hit me hard, like just growing the VAs more and more because that's what they're looking for essentially. And all it does is help me be able to do more for more people. Like I'm looking to help more people every day. Every day, I'm looking to see what I can contribute, either adding value, connecting you guys with, the vendors that you're looking to work with, getting you guys in touch with these coaches. That's what I'm obviously looking to follow in their footsteps, follow in Antonio's footsteps, specifically with the short-term rental. That's definitely my cup of tea. So, one step at a time. At least we have the property now. We are house hacking. We have another guy on base living in the third room. We have a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom. So he's paying, half the mortgage. Like, we're doing what we can do in the meantime. But yeah, baby steps and just continuing to build those VAs because I know that they can even take on more and they are probably interested in full-time. Like, these are all things that it's just getting out of your comfort zone. And I know some people might have negative experience with VAs, but I'm telling you, I love who I use, and as long as you know somebody that can like vouch for the company, but I vouch for, the company that I work with, absolutely incredible. Antonio knows it. But again, like you guys have to take this step. Like you just have to. It's gonna help you in the long run. And I also have a raffle winner. I'm sorry, guys.
Right.
I know you guys get to get
Yeah,
on
I'm
with
sorry
your
about
day.
the
I'm
raffle.
gonna give my last thing and then I'll let you. Or you
Yes.
want to announce the raffle winner first, and then I'll give
Yes.
my last. Go ahead.
Alrighty.
Who's going?
Congratulations for the 1-year BPM RIA membership. That's a $295 value. Drum roll. Congrats, Anthony V. Yay, Anthony
Yay! All
V.
right, Anthony B. You got it. And so what I'm going to end with, right? So 2024 has been a great year. And obviously, I'm very thankful. I know it's Thanksgiving, holidays, to have such great people in my life. And you guys, Harry, Antonio, Alexa, you too. A lot of you guys are mentors for me in so many different ways. It really shows the balance. There's some tough days, like any, you own your business, and why do we do this? And then you get to see the impact that I have the privilege to give to you guys and the great amount of impact that you guys do for me. And especially like our members, coming to the meetings, we always want to make everything perfect for you. The webinars, just, Alexa makes sure she takes care of all this. We want this experience to be the best that you can have. And what we realize is, as again, I've been friends with Harry 12 years, Antonio 12, like we are truly family. Alexa, same thing. Her mom comes on the cruise and to watch the growth and to see that, man, I had a little something to do with that. It's pretty cool. And more importantly is we got a lot more work to do because there's enough room for everyone to live the life they want. And that's what we're always looking for in general. So I'm super thankful. I'm excited about 2025.
I'm excited.
We're going to do a lot of fun stuff, right? You just got to convince Alexa or myself or Harry or Antonio. Who knows, right? Like we're going
Reach
to make it
out
a
to
fun
me,
year.
please, guys. Reach
Yeah,
out
we're
to
gonna
me.
make it a fun year all the way through. And again, and I see Kelly, who I'm happy she just moved down, her and Steve. It's just, the mastermind groups I'm in. It's just watching that there's a lot of good. I'm gonna use the word. There's a lot of good people. I was gonna say something else, but I'll even keep it clean. No, there's a lot of great people, I should say, that really make an impact. And it's our job to take all that negative stuff and turn it into positive too. So
Yeah.
thank you
Anish,
guys.
no, just thank you so much, Anish, because we don't thank you enough for all that you do and
Oh, thanks.
for really just pushing us and literally being like the spearhead, whatever that term is, the trailblazer, that is that is incredible. Super grateful. Like, can't thank you enough for being the leader of this organization and just pouring into every single one of us. So you don't get enough thanks, I don't think. So seriously, appreciate you. And Harry, Antonio, thank you guys so much for taking the time tonight. You guys
Thank you.
are just phenomenal examples of like the amazing community and people that we have in here. So just thank you guys so much for the time.
Yeah, and I think especially the three of you guys had no idea what the heck I was going to ask, and
Oh,
your
off
brutal
script.
honesty and transparency. But that's what we're all about too. So
Yeah.
I hope you guys have a happy holidays. Again, we still have webinars coming up. We got a bunch of stuff coming up. So
Yes.
and then our in-person events in January. Thank you guys.
Please safe travels, and we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.